Okay, so you got one of our pencils or you've been watching our tutorials and you're still having a hard time getting those hair-like strokes that you see me getting. I'm gonna be showing you how to do it with this pencil. Our Fullon, it's a 1.4 oval shaped tip. No, you don't have to sharpen it. That's why I made it. It doesn't lose its dullness. I am still trying all the brow pencils and products out there, and I don't care for the round ones. I find that I constantly had to break them to get that sharp edge. The formulation is a bit harder than what you're used to. You do need to use a little bit more pressure. This allows it to not smudge and last longer. I purposely created a harder formulation for the pencil. Majority of us do not have warm brows, and the colors out there are way too warm, way too warm. Even the ones that are graphite or taupe or black, I still found that they were really too warm. Our warm brown and our brown black, they have a tiny bit of warmth to them, but they're more neutral warm, not warm warm. First off, if you are new to working with a fine tip pencil, it's gonna take practice. I actually tell this to my kids all the time whenever they're struggling with learning something new. And I literally tell them, of course you're not perfect and amazing at it right now because this is your first time trying it. You've never done this before. It's gonna take some practice. First, I wanna go over how high you need to scroll this up. I've gotten some people saying that their pencil is breaking, and it 100% is because you're scrolling it up too high. I'm gonna show you how little you need to scroll it up and how well you can get those hair-like strokes with just a tiny bit scrolled up. I'm gonna place it on its side because that's where it can break the most, and I'm gonna really try to break it. My skin's gonna be so red after this. Okay, it is not breaking. However, if you scroll it up any bit larger and you're going to the side and you're pressing, yes, that is going to break. This product, when you're applying your brow pencils, no brow pencil is gonna go over your sunscreen, your moisturizers, your serums, your heavy foundations, because it's a pencil. It needs to have a dry, clean skin to go over. So my brows are the last thing that I do on my face, and I do avoid putting my moisturizers and my serums, and then sometimes if I feel like I want to go over my skin with the micellar water. It's clean, it's dry, and it gives it that tautness for your pencils to grip on. This is how you're gonna start your practice, is you're gonna hold it like a pencil and a little bit higher up. I want the pencil to be horizontal because I wanna make that line on how low you go, and then I turn it vertical. The other thing that I see is I see some clients, they're just filling in the center of their brows. They're not going all the way down to the bottom and then up. So hold it tight, and you're gonna be intentional. I'm gonna place where I want my stroke to be, and then I'm gonna do a quick flick, just like that. I want you to be slow with where you're putting it, and then quick with the flick. Number one, that what's probably happening that isn't going to get you the hair-like strokes is you're being quick and unintentional. So you're coming in and just doing this. I want you to be quick with the strokes, but intentional. So quick, quick, quick. It's intentional quickness, not unintentional. We can be unintentional with our lip gloss, okay? This isn't a lip gloss product. One thing that I forgot to mention, if you notice, I always lift my forehead when I do my brows because I want my skin to be as tight as possible. If you can't lift your forehead for Botox, or you're just finding that you have extra skin, if you've got like extra skin, you're gonna be pulling it. So just quickly grab that, make it tight as possible, and then go in. You're gonna be very spaced, way more spaced than what you think you should be. Set it where you want, quick, spaced. I really want to see the skin in between those hair-like marks as opposed to too close and creating a blob. Then, whenever you're like, oh, that's too far apart, then you can come in and do in between, again, where you need. It's intentional. Notice where I'm placing my hand. So I am right hand dominant. This is my right brow. So for my right brow, I do come in and I do set it like pretty good centered on. I'm not at an angle. That's something that I think you should practice. Does coming at it from an angle work better from you? for you or does coming at its center. So on my right, I find that coming in from the center works better. And then on my left, I find coming in from the side works better. So those two things are going to be more individual for you to practice. Let's say you've gotten more comfortable with holding it really nice and tight up here. I'm gonna now have you practice moving your hands down lower. This is gonna give up a little bit more control that you have, but it's gonna allow the pencil to do what it does best. So I'm gonna go lower, and again, I'm gonna set it where I want, and then I'm gonna do flicks. And you can see that these are much finer. The other thing that I want you to notice is I am not just drawing a line. I am literally doing a quick off my forehead, off my brows, flick off. So that looks great. So again, line, down lower, and then quick, spaced flicks. Number 4, do not blend this out with the spoolie brush. I had a client, she was having a hard time with the hair-like strokes, and I was like, show me what you're doing. And she got in there, she did these great hair-like strokes, and then she just automatically took the spoolie brush and fuzzed them out. That's not how we blend out our hair-like strokes. So if you find like this one is just a little bit darker, all you gotta do is just tap out that harshness. It's a tiny bit of tap. We're not brushing through and blending that. The only time that I will like brush through is if I accidentally go too high or something like that. And I'm like, oh, and then I just erase it with the spoolie brush. I hope those tips and troubleshooting will help you with that. Again, if you've never worked with a fine tip pencil, please just be patient with yourself. This is why I made this. It is easier to get those, but this is a new technique and you just haven't tried it yet. So it's gonna take a couple times of practice.